Welcome to the show, Rebecca Jade. You are an accomplished singer-songwriter over a near 2-decade career. You've had all kinds of awards. You've won Breakout Artist of the Year from Smooth Jazz Network, Debut Artist of the Year from Jazz Tracks in 2022. You earned 2 San Diego Music Awards last year for Best Music Video and Best R&B Funk Soul Song for What's It Gonna Be from your latest album, A Shade of Jade. Wow, I mean, you are hugely talented. Thank you so much for joining us. And please do tell us a bit more.
Oh, thank you so much, Jim, for having me. I'm so grateful to be here. And I love what you all represent about just global change and music, just being such a positive force for good, hopefully, right? Yes. And thank you for having me and just giving me an opportunity to share about my music. And I'm just glad we've crossed paths. And yeah, I'm an artist out of California in the United States, Southern California. And I've been doing music for a long time, and just kind of feeling like I'm finally coming into my own and delving into my own songwriting. I hadn't really done that before, so it's been wonderful trying to explore that. What do I want to say? How do I want my music to come across? So it's funny, as I'm evolving in this kind of new-ish form of creativity, it's been really cool to see how the influences that I had growing up sprinkle into the music, from my earliest recollections is jazz, jazz, straight ahead jazz, so like the Billie Holidays and Ella Fitzgerald, Nat King Cole. And then as I kind of came into, that's before I even really understood music. Then as I got a little older, then I started, I'm a big fan of Whitney and young Mariah Carey, Vision of Love Mariah Carey, and then girl groups like En Vogue and Boys to Men. And so I was always, Take 6 and Manhattan Transfer. I've always loved harmony groups. And so it's so cool to see the sprinkles of jazz in my music. I love harmonies. So a lot of my background vocals, I laid myself and created. And so this because it's kind of an homage to those influences at a young age. So
and it's so fun, so much fun.
It is so much fun. It's a lot of fun creating those and just seeing how they fit into a song and where they lay. And I've come to find that a lot of my music is actually a lot of love songs, but I also really, really love to encourage people. So it's funny that it's not funny, haha, but the irony that I'm on this show with you all, because my next single that I'm putting out is a song called What's It Gonna Be? And the song is about, I did a music video for it, but the song's going to be pushed to radio in a couple weeks. And the song is about, we all deal with tough times in life, and the song is about how to just challenge yourself to push through those tough times, and it's almost like a rhetorical question. What, you might lose, you might win, but just stay strong to the very end. What's it going to be? What are you going to do, when you hit those tough times?
And thank you.
How are you going to approach it?
Yeah. And thank you for that.
Oh, you're well, my honor.
I'm only saying because we've been listening to you. So I was doing love songs, right? Mm-hmm. And it's something being a Belle. Come on, let me try to straighten out something. How can I help? Right.
Right.
How's that? But how's that feel that you write this social conscious song?
It felt wonderful, actually. And I'll tell you a really cool story. I sang this song I'm artistic director at a spiritual center. And what's really cool is that, I book a lot of artists, but I get to also be there myself, I book myself really, and I took that as an opportunity to explore this song with the congregation.
Right.
And I kid you not, fellas, I had somebody come up to me. She had tears in her eyes 2 weeks later, because she was like, hey, Rebecca, I wanted you to know your song that you did, your original song that you did 2 weeks ago really moved me. I was dealing with a really tough time in my life. She's like, I wanted to quit my job. I was having a really tough situation with a coworker to where I wanted to quit. I wanted to just walk away. And she's like, your song inspired me to fight for myself. She said, and I did. She said, I did what I had to do. I stood my ground. She told me, she broke it all down for me. She's like, and I came out.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute, hold on now. Your song affected this woman to change her ways.
It did.
Music is powerful. People don't know how powerful music can be.
That's right. that to me, and it was kind of early on in the song, is like the song was done, but it was like my first single, like before the whole record was done. So I was kind of performing it, even though it wasn't out yet, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
And so I didn't know how people would react to it. I didn't have, it was just really early on. And it was really kind of my first song that was more like a global, like a social conscious type of song, because most of the other ones are more.
It is a social conscious song.
Yeah, you know? And so I loved how that reaction made me go, okay, I'm onto something there, you know? So it really inspired me to want to write more. So my goal is to definitely write more socially conscious, more encouraging songs.
Write as much as you can, because there are 5 billion love songs. There's only 192 million social conscious songs. We just got to grow that number. And you just helped us with another song now.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I try to do, is go out and inspire young people. Write about something that can change us.
Yes.
Today, you know, you can always write about yourself and you're in love and all that stuff, but write something that's going to help us.
Yeah.
And it challenges some of them, but when they do it, that feeling is just like what happened to you, right? I wrote a song for homelessness, and a friend of mine came to I lived out like 4 miles out in the woods in Napa Valley, and he came to my house and I played him my new song, you know, about homeless, right? And he got up from his chair. He said, "I'll be right back, Skyler." I said, "Okay, where you going?" I'll be right back. He drove 5 miles to go back over in town to give this homeless guy $100.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I know what you feel. I know what that feeling is.
And it could be I think what people, and I've dealt with it myself. You know, we think, oh, well, we can't do, it's too big. It's too big of a responsibility, right? To like, what is my little thing gonna do to change the world? And we have to think, what's that say? There's another saying, there's a saying like, okay, you can't change the world, but you can change one person, and that might be the whole world to them. You know, so thinking that, you know, we don't have to be, it's not like we have to change the whole world. We can just change a little bit, which could affect the whole world, you know. So if we all did a little bit, then, you know, it would be a bigger impact, you know. So I think it's okay to start even small and grow from there, because you don't know how much your segment, your little piece can affect
a lot of people. That's my thing, is to I want to do festivals, but I want to get people to do social conscious music and have it fun. And you just want to come out and hang out with your friends and eat and dance and stuff like that. Yeah. But you're going to hear some social conscious music. It's not music about yourself, right? It's music how we can change each other. Tom, you got a question?
I've got loads of questions, but the one I love a great segue, and this is a good one as well, is you're talking about your track there, What's It Gonna Be? I watched the video, and I know you kind of film it on a basketball pitch, and all your friends there playing basketball. And I noticed from your details that actually you graduated from a full basketball scholarship from UC Berkeley as well.
I did.
I wanted to know,
Cal?
Did you manage to
play what?
Did you manage to shoot some hoops during the filming of that video? Because I didn't see it on the video, but you've got to have done something.
Well, you know, it's funny. We were debating whether I should be the basketball star, and then after the more we pondered the idea, we were like, you know, maybe it's nice to have a separate person who was a good friend of mine. The ladies who are all played are all women I play in leagues with and stuff. Oh, wow. But yeah, I did shoot around a little bit, but you know, I had the makeup done and stuff. I took like 2 shots and started sweating. I was like, nope, that's it.
It looks like a lot of fun. The video looked like a lot of fun anyway. It
was a lot of fun, and it was really cool. That video is an homage to basketball, which was and is still an important aspect of my life. You know, I know some people who don't play sports may not understand it, but if you grew up playing sports or ever played any sport, it really is a reflection of life, you know? So when you work on a team, you learn how to work together. You learn maybe even to work together, even if you don't get along, you know? Right. And so imagine that's in life. You're not going to always be able to be, you know, you might have a coworker you don't get along with, but you go, you know what, this is for the greater good. We're here to have an end goal, win the game, meet that deadline, yada, 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 so there's so many elements you get from playing sports, certain disciplines that really carry on through the rest of your life. And so this video, it plays so many roles in, the homage, but also the whole thing about staying the course, no matter what, whether you win or lose the game, right? Life, or the actual basketball game, you have to fight for fight for what's true in your heart and what, so that's why that song is so special to me, and the basketball homage too.
Also, cheeky little ending to it, because I almost sort of thought, oh, that's the end of the video. And then there's the marching band bit right at the end of it. It's fantastic. So whoever watches this video, it's out on YouTube, go and watch it, but stick around to the very end. That's all I'd say.
Thank you very much. So that wonderful drumline company, it's really one of the only ones that are here in San Diego, and it was just so wonderful that they want to be a part of it. And then they have this routine. They travel a lot. They go do wonderful events and competitions and whatnot. And so we kind of captured that footage, and we were trying to figure out like where to put it. I didn't want it to get lost. We almost, how some videos they kind of cut the song and then they kind of put it in the middle. We thought about that and was like, and then I was like, oh, what about at the end, like while the credits are playing, that they just do this thing? And I was like, really I cool. love that part. I'm so glad that you enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Thank
really
you
cool.
so much.
Doing videos for your lyrical content is the best, because you just wrote the script.
Right.
I love sitting with my friends and doing a production. Go find this.
Yeah.
Between that.
Yep.
Because I like my videos to be literal. Like, when you say that word, you see it. Instead of you looking over here at the lake. You know what I mean?
It allows you to visualize what the song is about. It gives a more powerful message, I think, with the fact that you can actually put the visuals behind it as well.
Yeah.
It's so much fun, but the thing about it, like, I'd love to do something with you on a social conscious song. See, social conscious music is in my soul. I see what it does to people once they finally hear it.
Yeah.
I was in Rwanda, and I headlined this festival in Rwanda, and the most beautiful thing happened to me. All the bands were playing about whatever's going on. When I came out, I used some students from Rwanda. The band, a buddy of mine is a professor at Berklee College of Music.
Okay.
And he hangs out in Rwanda. So he brought all these kids together to play my music. I had to trust it was gonna be right, and he made it right. And it was so beautiful.
That's
and then,
cool.
so when we did play, and I got a little choir behind me, it was these young people, it was like so cool, right?
Oh man.
The best thing about it is when I got off the stage, the reporters rushed me and they said, "My brother, did you write that song for my country?" Right? And thank you for writing this music. We have people come over here and their pants is all hanging down, gold teeth, all kind of stuff like that. And here you are, you trying to help us. We'd love for you to come back. That was worth it to me, because I know my music was totally different than everybody playing, And that's what's going to happen to you even more with this song you just wrote.
Definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, I received that. Whatever path it leads down, I'm open to that. Absolutely. And it's a trip too. Another song I wrote too that's on the record is actually also kind of about loss, even though, the global change, it's also accepting, I think, that's also an element of life. There's a cycle of life, and
that's right.
Loss of either a loved one, either in passing, or again, a love song, kind of a heartbreak song. But it's more, I think, of the loss of a loved one. Like maybe I think of like my mother-in-law who passed away last year. Like I think of people like that. We've all lost somebody special in our lives. But what I love about the song, because it could have been easy to just spiral down this like sadness tunnel, right? But I spun it to be something about being grateful for having had the chance to love that person. Like that's another one that to me is also kind of skating on the line of like kind of just a conscious, that heart of gratitude, which comes from all the good things and the bad things. I think of things of that kind of balance, having loved someone and being grateful for that. So yeah, my heart is along those lines. Again, I love a good love song, but I'm trying to find ways of being more creative along the lines of that kind of just conscious.
There's so much.
one another.
There's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
There's so much to say, right? That's when I challenged the kid. I said, you know, if you could change something in the world, what would it be? And they all got an opinion, right? I said, go write it.
Yeah.
Now go put a melody on that with some amazing music, right?
Yeah.
Because lyrical content is like I said, I teach that stuff. Tom, you got another question before we go?
Just looking through what you've achieved and who you've been performing with Sheila E since 2017.
What?
In the Let's Go Crazy Grammy Salute to Prince, I've read. So that sounds fantastic. And you also performed as backing vocalist for Elton John. Sir Elton John, should I say?
I'm sorry to hear that.
At the 2020 Academy Awards. I mean, come on.
Like, that was amazing. First, working with Sheila is incredible. She's been wonderful to work with, and she's an icon and the Queen of Percussion.
The whole family.
Yeah, the whole family is insanely talented. So I feel very special to have been a part of her history, really, you know. And then, Sir Elton John, that actually came also through working with Sheila. So her best friend is Lynn Mabry, and Lynn sang on the original soundtrack for the biopic that was about Sir Elton John. And it was up for Academy Award. I think the film was, and then the song and all that stuff. And so he performed the one song, I'm Gonna Love Me Again. And Lynn was on the recording, and they were asked to sing live with Sir Elton John. And one of the gals that did the original recording, she couldn't do it. So Lynn recommended me, since her and I were singing together for, at that point, 4 or 5 years. And so she recommended me, and they were like, yep, bring her along. And so I got to sing with Lynn and 4 other amazing singers, and Sir Elton John, and a big old horn, you know, full band and horn, 6 horns. It was like ridiculous. It was fantastic. Yeah. And then the Grammy Salute to Prince, it was like that. Sheila's band and singers were all the backing band for St. Vincent and Gary Clark Jr., Earth, Wind and Fire. It was like this whole list of incredible artists, and we were basically the backing band, you know, for all Miguel, you know, all these singers that did a tribute to Prince, and we were all able to sing and perform behind them. So that was pretty incredible.
Such a wonderful thing. I mean, I sang on a duet with Aretha and Elton.
Wow.
I'm getting 2 at the same time. That's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? Tom, you got one more before we go?
Also, you're an avid motorcycle rider. So everything else you do, you also love motorcycles and classic cars. So just add that in right at the end.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny. If time were no object and money were no object, I would have I'd have a car auto repair shop and just be working on cars.
Oh my God.
You know, in my spare time. I really wish, if I had more time, I wish I was what do they call them? A gearhead? You know, I wish I could be in there. Like, I ride a Harley V-Rod, and then I also have a 1970 VW Beetle and an 85 El Camino. So like, I just wish I knew how to work on them.
Straight up Berkeley. That's Berkeley. That's Telegraph Avenue if I ever heard it.
That's it.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful to be here.
Thank you.
With you.
Thanks for joining us. Really
My
appreciate
honor.
it.
Really cool.
Please have me back sometime.
Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all get together, music can save the world. Yeah. Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all come together, music can save the world. There's an urgency facing our humanity.
Thank you so much for watching. To stay up to date, please click subscribe and hit the bell. You can also join our group on Facebook and find us on LinkedIn and Instagram.